Outside to Bogey. He's crowded. Three. Bogdanovich! At the horn wins in Houston.
That was Sunday. And here he is, the man of the hour for the Utah Jazz.
Still smiling.
Wouldn't you be?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me have that.
That was one that was skill and luck.
It was.
You need a little bit of both, right?
Yeah, a little bit of both. Yeah, that's a tough shot.
Bogdanovich
Size
has
got it off.
continued to impress. Being
Donovan
there
Mitchell
for his
couldn't have got that
teammates.
shot off because he's too short.
No, he could have got it off.
Yeah, tough.
Taking on the Dallas Mavericks, we mentioned that Luka Doncic is still out, but they're still managing their way.
Now, is Luka going to play in the All-Star game?
They're trying to get him back Wednesday, which will be the last game before the break. They're hopeful. He did 5-on-5 this morning. Moving on. Andre Iguodala
Oh, okay, Iggy.
Look at it.
for the Heat.
6 rebounds, 3 assists.
22 minutes of play. That's good. He hasn't been back
2
long.
points.
Hey, I'm okay with those numbers.
He hasn't been back long, and they're
2
not.
points?
They didn't get him
Yeah,
for the
we
points.
don't need him to do that. They don't need no points from him.
They're going to need something come playoff time now.
Yeah, we wait
Well.
for that.
He's warming, as they say. Golden State Warriors call this place, the Chase Center, home this season. Hasn't been great for them, considering what they've been through the last several
think?
seasons. Sitting in the 15th position, Miami Heat coming in their place. The Heat sitting in the 4th position in the East. It's the second night of a back-to-back, though, for Miami. Still advantage Miami?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. But I will say the Golden State Warriors, even if they're a team that's been losing, they come out and they compete. And I have never seen a team and coaching staff and players so relaxed to be in last place. I mean, they do a good job, don't they? Because they know what's coming.
Well, they do know what's coming, but you look at this Miami Heat team, they got to win this game tonight. Look, if you're going to be a threat to the Raptors and the Milwaukee Bucks and all the teams in the East, then even though this are back-to-back good teams that are focused, they come in here tonight and they take care of business. I'm not saying they should beat them by 10, but they should win this basketball game because it's important, and you want to indoctrinate Andre Iguodala, get him some minutes, and then you got to start figuring out how are you going to use him during the rest of the season? Because he's used to having the basketball in his hand. Jimmy Butler is the guy now with the basketball in his hand. So it's going to take a little while for this team to click and for them to get used to each other because now who has the balls and who has it in certain situations.
And this is a long West Coast trip, and
Yes.
you want to start to win some of these games, and so you won't fall in the standings. Right now, they're 4th. They have home court. You don't want to give up home court at least. And at one point, they were at number 2. I know they have some new additions, but this is where you got to start to win some of these games that you're supposed to win.
Yeah, they lost 3 in a row, and to your point, Smitty, only 2 games ahead of Philadelphia. So even though they're in 4th,
and
not
Philly,
comfortable.
as bad as they've been and inconsistent as they've been really good. Only 2 losses at home.
True.
And you wouldn't want Philly to flip-flop you, and all of a sudden now you got to go to Philly in a 7-game series. With that crowd, no. And the way they played at home,
True.
you want to avoid that.
That's why we love the playoffs so
Yes.
much. Unpredictability. Okay, let's talk about the Warriors a little bit. They added a new piece in Andrew Wiggins. What are we expecting out of him as the season winds down?
Well, just think of it from Golden State Warriors, Bob Miles, and Steve Kerr situation. You adding a guy. Everybody's saying Andrew Wiggins is underachieved. Okay, so let's just say they're right. He's 5 years into the league. He's a 20-point scorer for his career thus far. That's
pretty good.
To be a disappointment.
Right.
So let's just think, if Andrew Wiggins just gives them what he's giving them now, 22 points a game, in a down year when people say, he don't play hard, he don't care, he's aloof, all those things. But he's averaging 22 a game. Let's say he gives them 22 a game next year with Steph Curry and Klay, Draymond Green, and then they're going to add a lottery pick to this team. And then with the experience these guys have gained with Durant and all these people being gone, how good can the Warriors be next year if Andrew Wiggins is your 3rd option?
Well,
It's frightful.
I'm with Sam because the reason why is, I mean, not only that, I looked up his stats. He's missed 10 games since he's been in the NBA.
5 years now. For a guy that don't care, not
10 games.
tough,
10 games.
and
I
played
think it
all
was.
82 his rookie year.
Yes, and he's had a lot of, I saw 82, 81,
Yep.
81. So I also look at it, even to Sam's point, I won't even go down to 17 because you're talking about a guy now that because he'll have a lot left, not only to score, but he's one of those guys that can defend at a Klay Thompson's level at his ability. He just hasn't shown it yet, in my
Well, he
opinion.
hasn't been in the environment yet.
Yes.
Now he's in a place, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Draymond Green. But this is the thing. It's not going to be the yelling and screaming and finger pointing. It's going to be, let's sit down, let's have a professional conversation. And then, to me, that's how you communicate with Andrew Wiggins. Just talk to him.
We'll find out shortly.
It's on him now.
Very soon. Chris Middleton of the Milwaukee Bucks. This is the first game of the NBA TV doubleheader on center court. 6 straight 20-point performances for Mr. Middleton. All right, Tim, the Raptors, speaking of them, they've won 14 games in a row. Is there someone that's a good investment on this roster?
Yeah, how about the development of Fred VanVleet? Now, I called some of his games in college at Wichita State, and I was like, yeah, he's okay. He's better than that. It shows what an idiot I am. He is outstanding, and I think borderline an all-star in the next couple of years. He has really taken his game to the next level. He's always shooting 40% from three, nearly 7 assists, 18 points a game. Now, Kyle Lowry was questionable. He is going to go. Obviously, VanVleet's a better investment when Lowry's not on the floor because his usage is up. But after 52 games this year, Stephanie, the Raptors are 38-14. That's a better record than they had last year. So Nick Nurse, in my eyes, this year's NBA Coach of the Year.
Okay, an early pick by you, Tim Doyle. Speaking of picks, let's see your starting lineup. What you got?
Well, there's Lowry out there. I'm sorry, there's VanVleet out there because I was expecting Lowry. Well, maybe guessed wrong there. Anthony Davis, game time decision. Hopefully he goes and blocks a bunch of shots along with Rudy Gobert. When you play Rudy, you want rebounds and blocks. Devin Booker's been slow as of late. Hopefully this sparks something. Bogdanovich is coming off that game-winning shot. And then Barnes and Giles, you don't have to pay a lot, but hopefully you get a lot and move up the standings there, because when you spend that basement price, you don't want that clothes to rip. You at least want it to look good, and hopefully those guys look good for tonight.
Excellent. All right, Tim. Thank you for that. Don't go anywhere, though. You guys at home, though, you get to get closer to the action this weekend with NBA Pick'em All-Star Edition presented by AT&T. Head to nba.com/pick'em before All-Star Weekend tips off this Friday and answer 12 pregame questions. Then come back this weekend to answer live questions each night as you watch the action unfold on TNT. Tim is going to lock in some of his picks on All-Star Saturday night. Lock in your own, and you could be sitting courtside at NBA All-Star 2021. All right, Tim. Thank you for not leaving. First question for you. 3 past champions in the 2020 Taco Bell Skills Challenge. Who will be crowned the new champion?
I'm going to go with Patrick Beverly. Now, he went to John Marshall High School on the west side of Chicago, which is 1.6 miles away from the United Center. And this is no offense to Patrick Beverly, but this is the closest he's ever going to get to an all-star game, is competing in the Skills Challenge, which I believe is a try-hard thing. Sometimes I watch these guys kind of go through the motions and they don't want to get too much sweat on them because they're heading out afterwards to an all-star weekend party. I feel like a guy like Beverly, who gives it 110% every time he's on the floor, is going to do the same thing in the Skills Challenge. So give me the hometown kid here, Pat Beverly.
All right, that's reasonable logic. I see what you did there. The format of the Mountain Dew three-point contest has changed now, officially starting in 2020. They're adding 2 deep shots 6 feet beyond the three-point line. It's increasing the maximum possible score from 34 in years past to 40. So what do you think will be the highest first-round score?
Yeah, I think it could be, we're looking at high 20s, maybe low 30s, and a guy like Duncan Robinson, who began his career, Stephanie, at Division III Williams College, and then he transferred to Michigan, and now he starts for the Miami Heat. I just love this kid's work ethic. He's had games this year where he banged down 9 threes against the Cavs, 10 threes against the Hawks. He was a Division III basketball player. So I like guys that put in that work, which means he's probably working with a ball rack, he's working with assistant coaches, and he's really out there to prove himself. Lillard's probably the best long-range shooter, and he's rightfully your favorite in this event. He could just shoot from, like, out of bounds, and it looks like it's a layup. But I'm going to go with Duncan Robinson here. I think he's going to put in the work that's necessary to get him over the hump and bring home the hardwood.
Okay, there is another contest on Saturday night. Who will be crowned the AT&T Slam Dunk Champion?
I'm going to go with Derek Jones Jr. Now, when you talk about Aaron Gordon, you're talking about one of the GOATs in slam dunk competition. But at 6'10", he has a disadvantage because just shorter guys look better dunking the basketball. And Derrick Jones Jr. at 6'6", I actually think could jump in the hoop. I think that would win the dunk contest if he could somehow get his feet in there. But the 6'6" high riser out of UNLV has had some show-stopping moments. He's going to have to sell the crowd. I think Aaron Gordon's presentation is what kind of gets you that wow factor. I think Derrick Jones Jr. and his 47-inch vertical may be a better leaper himself. Gordon might be one of the GOATs, but I'm going to take a flyer with the 6'6" kid out of UNLV.
All right, Tim Doyle, I wrote them all down. I'm going to hold you to it. Thank you for joining us.
You got it, Stephanie.
Tim made his All-Star Saturday night predictions. Don't forget to lock in your own at NBA.com/pick'em and tune in all weekend long on TNT. The warm-up will continue. Take a look at Bogdanovich warming up. This guy's hit a game winner or two, if you recall. Utah Jazz happy to have him. They're taking on the Dallas Mavericks tonight, who are still without Luka Doncic, figuring things out. The West is getting real good.